It's time to look at another disease brought to us by dog worship. Let's go right to this PBS video and follow along. You'll see what I'm talking about.
And the one area of the body we worry about the most is the heart. If this infection is close to an electrical pathway of the heart, a person can have a sudden cardiac death, really, and then slow but progressive heart failure. And the heart really just continues to weaken over time, and a person will eventually pass away from heart failure.
The parasite that causes Chagas disease can also infect dogs.
Yes, dogs are a huge vector for the bug that transmits the parasite, and dogs can also transmit it via their feces. So let's look at some more about this. So heart disease is what that guy was talking about. Heart problems, particularly heart failure, are on the rise in the U.S., especially among younger adults and those with health conditions. Well, this disease caused by this parasite is very much underreported. And if you watch this video here, you'll notice our doctor guy, this guy right here, he's wanting to make the disease be classified as endemic, which means that we'll have more ability to research it. So, heart problems are, they're a big problem for us in America. It remains the leading cause of death. Many people are having sudden heart failure and not knowing why. Well, there's a good chance that they have had this parasite in them for a long time and finally got enough stress in their immune system for it to hurt them. So have a listen to what he says.
We do know that this parasite can persist in your body for many years.
So you can get this from mammal feces, from the feces of this little bug, and have it be in your body for a long time. You can even be shedding these parasites in your own feces to other people. Check out some of the symptoms of this disease right here. These are like common symptoms that people have on a daily basis. Flu-like symptoms. And check this out. An infected host rubs the fecal matter into their eye by accident. People are constantly rubbing their eyes, rubbing their dog, then they rub their eyes. The dogs lick the skin, which is where the fecal matter from these little insects are, and then the dog licks you in the face. Yeah, you can get all kinds of transmission of these things through contact with your dogs and being around dogs. Let's go to our next little slide here. So did you know Mexico has a significant number of stray dogs, with estimates suggesting that 30% of the country's dog population is homeless dogs living on the street? So that's perfect environment for these bugs. So back to our previous slide then. Look what we have right here. Mexico has the worst cases of this Chaga disease. Yeah, Mexico, tons and tons of stray dogs. And what is Mexico close to in America? That would be Texas. So Texas, they receive many stray dogs from Mexico through rescue organizations. That's right, they use your tax money indirectly with the 501c3 to save animals, to take them across the border. Love is love, life is life. Let's bring a bunch of stray dogs from Mexico into our country and put our existing dogs and humans at risk. Yep. And look at what they say here. These are dogs that are left behind by migrants. People that migrate into the USA, that's one of the things they do. They get a dog, and then they walk around with the dog, and then everybody's like, oh, that's cool, must be a good person, even though they could be an illegal migrant. So, what else do we know about Texas then? Texas also having tons of stray dogs. Look at this. Abundant triatomites in Texas dog kennels. That's the parasite from that bug. So lawmakers in Texas, why are you bringing diseased animals into your state? Lawmakers from Oregon, Tennessee, Ohio, why are you guys bringing these dogs that are vectors? Look at what it says right here. The insects are vectors for this, and the dogs have them. They're agent of the Chagas disease. So if you're in Oregon and you're part of the street dog hero, bringing in all these pit bulls from Texas and everywhere else, you're bringing in parasite-ridden creatures that are messing with your natural flora and fauna, that are putting you at risk and putting your existing dogs at risk. And like I mentioned, here is the information. Texas has the highest number of reported cases of trypanosoma cruzi infections. That's the parasite that is this bug is pooping out onto the skin of you and your dogs. I mean, think about it, guys. That bug gets on your dog. The parasite comes off the bug. The dog licks itself and then licks you. Or the parasite's in the dog and the dog takes a poop and then the dog licks its own asshole. And then you go and kiss your dog. This just spreading the parasite that's inside of this bug all over the place via dog culture. So don't take my word for it, guys. Look down in the description. Here's a pictograph from one of the published studies. These little things in here go into the feces of mammals too. It's not just the insect. If that parasite is in the mammal for years, like that doctor told us, anytime the parasite propagates in the body, it can come out in the feces. And then you got somebody that's rubbing up on their dog, that parasite's on their hand, and then they're shaking hands with you, making you a sandwich, wiping your kid's face at the daycare. Yeah, this can easily be spread through dogs because dogs fill our environment with feces, and mammal feces contain this parasite. And I'm not the only one to realize this. Published studies and news articles have illustrated that these bugs are found where dogs are present. Just like I showed you in that Texas slide a little while back. Dog kennels, because they can feed on the blood of the pets. These bugs carry parasites called the trypanosoma cruzi, which causes the Chagas disease. So countries like Mexico and Central America that have tons of stray dogs, that's where this disease is the worst. Texas is one of the worst places for this disease. Texas has the most stray dogs in America right now, I think, only competing with like California. Very close. And so dogs are synonymous with this disease. And like I showed you in the other slide about Latin America having some of the highest problems with this disease, look, what do they also have? Stray dogs. These dogs, where do they live? They live in the perfect environments for these bugs to live. The bug can bite the dog, spread the parasite, spread the disease. The dog can carry the bug somewhere else in its fur. The dog itself is a perfect food source for this disease vector bug. So when these Americans go over to Latin America on vacation and they throw a bunch of food to these stray dogs, yeah, they're just propagating a nasty, sick disease. And you don't have to be bitten by the bug, like I was saying, but as the Mayo Clinic and Center for Disease Control tell us, this can get in through mucous membranes. So you can have a dog that has these parasites or insect feces on their fur, and then you're rubbing the dog and you got a cut on your hand, or you're rubbing the dog and then you go pick up some fruit and vegetables and hand it out to your buddies. They get the parasite in their body. It might not be till 3 years later where they have a sudden heart failure because this parasite is wrapped around the nervous system that feeds the human heart, just like was mentioned by our doctor right here. Another one I'll put in the description for everybody. As it says right here, the feces can be in mammals too. So you get this parasite living in you. A dog or a human, especially dogs, because dog feces is everywhere. Humans actually flush their feces away. But just like it says right here, the feces of mammals is where this disease and the parasite can live. And you can get into your body through cuts or mucous membranes. So everywhere that people let their dogs shit all over the place is a potential for this disease. So there you go. That's your look at Chagas disease. You don't have to take my word for it. I'll put all this stuff in the description, or you can look it up yourself. And here's a big question with all of this. Why do our lawmakers bring in these dogs from Texas, knowing that Texas is flooded with this disease, knowing that dogs are a vector? It's just like it says right here. Texas has the highest numbers of reported cases of this. And why do our lawmakers allow tax shelter organizations to use our tax money to bring in dogs from Central America, Mexico, China? China is also a place that has a high prevalence of this disease transmission, a high prevalence of these bugs. Everyone's worried about climate change and population control and vaccines and so many people hate, like, for example, Bill Gates or the World Health Organization. They think that they're buying up farmland to control our population and all that kind of stuff, all those type of conspiracy theory type things. Well, if you're worried about all that stuff, maybe you should be worried about something real, because filling your life with these dogs means you're filling your life with this bug right here, with this nasty little fucker. And the disease is deadly. And all the symptoms that this disease comes with, it's like we have them on a daily basis in America, and we have to take multiple drugs just to not die. And this whole thing with the sudden heart failure that people are having, and of course they're blaming it on vaccines right now. Well, there's a lot of other shit going on, a lot of other shit going through your body because of dog worship. So perhaps this might be something you could actually look at if you're concerned about all of those type of things. See you guys later.